Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday today, which means it is race day, but it's only lunchtime at the moment. And I thought for the first time in quite a while, I'll take the time to come out for a walk because I don't have to do drop off and pick up at school today, which the early part of the year I was doing a lot more walking because the kids were still off school, back in lockdown and all of that sort of stuff. But now that the kids have all gone back, I have to do either drop off or pick up at some point, so I kind of don't want to eat into my work day by having a walk at lunchtime, so I don't really get the chance to come out, but I thought I would today because I can, and to talk about something silly I did yesterday. The Prudential, it's not Prudential anymore, is it? It's just the Ride London ballot opened, and so I thought I'd jump on. I've signed up for that a few times before, 3 or 4 times maybe. Never been successful, didn't expect to be this time, and I kind of didn't read it that the first 10,000 people get automatically accepted and get their place. So when it popped up after I'd applied for it and said, see you there, it came as a bit of a shock because I kind of only sort of half thought I might be doing it. And then it clicked that it's actually in May, which I think is a lot earlier than it normally is. So that's only, I don't know, what, 9 months away to do 100 miles, which is a lot further than I've been before. So it kind of ties in nicely with a nice challenge that it can set me for that period of time. Something to aim for, something to improve towards. It was just a bit of a shock yesterday when I got in because, being honest, I don't think I really fully in my mind accepted that it could be something I could do or would get accepted to. So I'm actually quite looking forward to it, and I've booked my hotel room already. I was advised by a friend, Ross, who's done it a few times before, book a hotel room because it's a nightmare to get to and from. So I've done that. So training starts now, I suppose, which is good because that ties back into me feeling a bit better, feeling a bit more focused. As I said, I was meant to join the ride on Tuesday, but didn't get the chance to just because of home stuff and work. But tonight is the race night. Hopefully have a better performance than recent races, although it is the TT race, which is probably my least favourite one that we do. But I've got an afternoon of work, jump on, finish in time for the ride, hopefully not getting on 10 seconds before the race starts, and see how I get on. And then later in the video we'll have a chat about targets and thoughts about getting my mind back in the game and all of that stuff. So I'll catch you on the start line. So here we go then, time for the TT race. 3 laps of the Fan Flats in Richmond, 17.7 kilometres. I am not setting myself any target or goal based upon previous races, the last few weeks of my performance. I just want to see how I get on and how I get round. So we're about to go. I'm going to try and set into a pace that I'm comfortable with, and then see where I fall out amongst the other riders and see if I end up in a bit of a race or not. So let's go. Okay, 5 minutes in, and I was trying to keep up with a couple of the Ds, G Fatbuck and D Duncan, who were just in front, but I realised I wouldn't be able to sustain it. And this time I'm going for a long, trying to compete and put out decent power for the whole thing. So I've dropped off slightly, but H. Moreira behind me, 2 seconds now, catching. And then R. Hamilton, D. Howarth, D. Taylor, A. Lloyd, A. Evans. And people I can see in front, MK, 18 seconds ahead, B. Cat, C. Shan, 16 ahead, M. Pierce, 10, hot on the heels of his hour effort yesterday. And M. Reed as well, 6 seconds ahead. Just going to try and keep this consistent. Here comes H. Moreira.
So Ross has just taken my place. He's slowly catching me. I was doing little bursts to try and keep him behind, but I can't. My next challenge is to keep D Howard behind. He's putting out much higher watts per kilogram than me though. 8 seconds back. Right, we're just over halfway, 8.7 kilometers to go. And as you can see at the bottom, I've actually tried to stick this time to a pace that I can manage and keep up. And then maybe towards the end, I'll see where I fall out amongst the other riders. I've got R. Hamilton a second ahead. D. Howarth now only 2 seconds behind. It's not been long till he catches me. But I just got to keep consistent, and then that way I can improve. Right, we're 20 minutes in. I caught M. Pierce for a second, and D. Howarth caught me. We're kind of reverting now to D. Howarth catching me. Just over 20 minutes in, I did catch M. Pierce for a second, and then D. Howarth's now caught. He did catch slightly and fell back a little bit, but now he's passed. And as you can see, my constant effort has started to require breaks for my legs. And I got a bit of a stitch in my left hand side on my back, which is causing a little bit of discomfort. Let's see how that goes. We got just over a lap and a bit to go. Come on. 3.5 kilometers left and my power's back to being all over the place again. It's the only thing I can seem to do right now to keep it going at all. G-Fat Bike's caught. I thought you were leaving the race. I'm sure I saw a message saying your heart rate was too high and you were going. It's a fair play if you stopped and then caught me again. Well, A. Evans, 36 seconds back. And I'm pretty sure, not that long ago, that was up about 45. Just want to keep it up to keep that gap big in the last 3 kilometers, if I can. Coming up to the last kilometre, and I'm struggling just to get my legs going round at the moment. G-Fat Bike's gone now. A. Evans, 38 seconds behind. We got 1.1 kilometres to the end turnaround. across the finish. Oh, and across the line. Ow. Ow. Oh, my back's hurting. Oh, it's taken me quite a while to recover from that. You'll notice I don't have a heart rate. It's because I think the battery's run out now. I used to have problems with it connecting, and now I think the battery's gone. But 244 watts, 2 watts per kilogram. Not my best, but definitely an improvement on last week's 1.7 watts. So, in the first bit, I guess 2 laps, I felt relatively strong. And the tar just tried to keep that consistent sort of greeny, yellowy zone effort for as long as I could. Because clearly that's where I need to improve, because I fell off a cliff towards the end and it all went messy again. But normally it's messy all the way through, so I guess that's improvement, isn't it? Let's have a quick look at the results from the top. Pretty sure Petter went over first. He did. Let me move my face up there. 4.3 watts per kilogram for Petter. In first, 24.56, 46 seconds behind John Bushell. But John, only 2 o'clock today did the T2.5 hour record attempt. So, and he did really well as well. So I'm absolutely amazed that you've managed to jump on here and still deliver 356 watts. Nice one. C White in third, 26.06, 3 seconds behind C Waring. And then a little further back is F Greaves with Manflu. I think you sent me a message just before the race, which I haven't actually read yet, but if you've got Manflu and you've come 5th, 297 watts, that's good going. You must be feeling a bit better. N Slevin is 6th, 26.51. And then C Swan, 7th in 27.17. So B Cat won it. We don't have any A Cats today. C Cat, C Finlayson, 28.17, a minute behind C Swan. And then MK at 28.35. Detailer just 2 seconds behind in 10th. 9 seconds behind is A Pimer, who is the first D Cat over the line. So congratulations. 289 watts, 2.7 watts per kilogram. That's close to an upgrade. And Jay Robinson, actually, 28.51, 3 watts per kilogram. That is pushing C-Cat category. Definitely. C-Cat category. C category. C Groves in 13th. And D Duncombe in 14th, who I was trying to stay with for as long as I could, but I just gradually fell back through the group. The thing I've noticed, I have a relatively strong start on these races and then just gradually drop back. Maybe I need to rethink that and start a bit slower and try and catch the people in front. C Shan 15th, M Reed in 16th. H Morera came past me, maybe second lap, 30.52. Ross Houghton 31.20 in 18th. M Pierce just a second behind in 19th. Hopefully that was a good sprint to the line. Then D Howarth caught me on that final lap, on the second lap towards the end, I think, and then I tried as we went but failed. And then G Fat Bike 22nd, 31.44 behind me. And I hope you're all right, because I'm sure it was you that messaged that your heart rate was high. Apologies if it wasn't you and it was someone else. I was reading that in the middle of a TT. A Evans 23rd, and then A Lloyd 24.35.05. So I'm not too disappointed with that, actually. 244 watts, 2 watts per kilogram. It's a step in the right direction based on the previous couple of races, so I'm relatively happy. Just need to keep that consistency. But we'll have a talk about sort of future stuff in a little while. But I'm going to go and have a shower, have some dinner, and I'll catch you later.
Relatively happy with my race performance in the end. 2 watts per kilogram, much better than 1.7 watts per kilogram the week before, and I felt stronger, something that I haven't felt in a little while on the bike. Haven't been feeling strong. I've been quite uncomfortable, but definitely feel that the break has helped. It's helped me physically to sort of recover and get ready to go again, but also mentally. Definitely feel ready to attack stuff again, and I was just ready for that break, as I spoke about in the previous video. So I'm happy, and it's not back to my best. It was about 20 watts short of my best 20-minute effort, but it's getting back on that pathway to it. So I'm happy. Huge shout out. 2 people attempted the T 2.5 hour record this week. Both of them were in the race. Marcus Pierce did it the day before the race, and I'm going to look off screen to read out the millions of decimal places. So Marcus CCAT did it in did a distance of 35.98686 kilometers, currently holding the CCAT record. And John Bushell did it just a few hours before the race, and he wasn't too far off Eric. And John races in the BCAT, and that's 41.11265. So we have a holder of the ACAT, Eric. BCAT is John. Marcus is the CCAT. We're still waiting for a DCAT to sign up. Come on. But I know there are about another, I want to say 10 people already in process of setting up dates and times to attack the record themselves. So absolutely brilliant effort. I managed to catch some of Marcus's, but unfortunately John's was during the day and I was on a call for work, so I couldn't see that one. So I'll do my best to catch as many as I can and get as many on video as I can. But huge congratulations to you guys. Now to have a bit of an honest conversation about previous performance and then a plan for the future. So as I guess everybody who watches the channel know, for about a year I've been following a vegan diet, more to help with my stomach issues than anything else, and it seemed to have worked. Recently I found out, I think despite cutting out coffee previously when the issues first started, it didn't seem to go away. I previously, because of an illness that I had and I stopped drinking coffee, I felt my stomach was more settled than it had been in a very long time. I haven't drunk coffee since then. So I feel that I may have found a slight trigger for it, and coupled with that, my brother's actually getting married next summer, and he's doing it abroad, and I suddenly had that moment of instantly I get the worries about my stomach issues that I've had before, being sat on a plane, not being able to get away from things if I really need to. Now this is something I haven't really experienced. I think it's only a couple of times this year, but it's something that always makes you think, if I'm on a plane and I get a bad turn, I literally cannot go anywhere. But also I don't want to be that awkward person whilst we're there saying I can only eat certain things, and we're doing something I've never done on a holiday and go all inclusive. And it suddenly made me think that they might not have much of an option for vegan, and I didn't want to be eating the same thing every meal, every night of the holiday. So I've taken the decision to start introducing non-vegan things back into my diet and see how they affect me. And the truth is they haven't. So I've just a few things. I had a bacon sandwich, and I've had a meal or two that aren't vegan. I haven't gone whole hog. It's not like I've sat down and eaten a steak dinner and, you know, all the trimmings and stuff. It's just a little bit of reintroduction of it, and touch wood, nothing serious has come of it so far, but cutting the coffee out seems to have kept it up at bay. So one thing I have noticed, and I wondered actually whether it was the beginning part of my sort of difficult period the last few weeks, is when I came back to the bike in February this year, I was quite surprised how quickly I recovered, and I was a good few months into my vegan diet at the time, and I just felt that I wasn't feeling how I used to the day after a bike ride, and I wondered whether it was something to do with the vegan diet or whether I'm actually stretching and doing stuff properly when I get off, which I never really used to do. So I always wondered. But my sort of downturn in performance the last few weeks has come at the same time that I've started to reintroduce other food. Now, I don't know whether that is purely food related, because the other thing that I've done is I've just slipped massively with my diet. hugely, to the point I haven't got on the scales at all. And this is me being honest to all of you guys watching, because I know part of this is about my weight loss journey too. I've just had a few weeks of very poor diet, and that also, with me reintroducing things that aren't vegan, has kind of opened up other avenues of bad diet choices that I think I've mentally gone back to where I was maybe a year ago in my eating habits and things, which is really bad, and I know I need to sort that out. So I don't know maybe if that all of that combined contributed to me not performing particularly well on the bike. I don't know, but on the flip side, I now have two targets to sort myself out for. Number one is the not Prudential, I keep calling it that, the Ride London in May, 100 miles, never done 100 miles on a bike before. Who knows how that's going to feel. But also my brother's wedding in a very, very hot country in the middle of the summer. And I do not want to be anywhere near this size to experience that. So two big things for me, targets on the horizon that I need to exercise more. I mean, I do a fair amount of exercise now on the bike and sort my diet out for. So that is my plan from this point. We're going to see improvements in both of those. To do the bike, so I've worked it out, there is 28 weeks between now and Ride London. And thank you to everybody. I asked a question on the Facebook group actually about, recommended training plans and things, because going back to what I was just saying, I find it very difficult to put out a constant level of power. My power graphs are doing this all the time, and that's something I need to improve on, along with my endurance. So I need to start doing training plans. And I was looking just before recording this video about which training plans I could possibly do, and there are two that add up to exactly the 28-week gap between now and when the Ride London is. So the plan is to do the 12-week FTP builder to just get started, get myself, almost like that base level back again, and then jump straight into, there's a 2018 Ride London training plan on Zwift already, which is 16 weeks, which the two tied together is the 28 weeks. There might be slightly more sessions per week in those training plans than I can fit in. Also, it doesn't give me any leeway for breaks or whatever, so I will stick as much as I can to them, and I'll try and do as many of those workouts in our rides. The two things I don't want to do, I do not want to miss our Thursday night races, and I do not want to miss the Saturday morning group ride. Now, I could do one of the training sessions on the group ride. It would make it maybe slightly more difficult to talk on Discord, but that's going to be putting me 4, 5, maybe even 6 times a week on the bike, obviously building up to that, not hitting it straight away. So it might be a little bit fluid, but that is my plan from essentially now. To do that though, I'm going to have to do a new FTP test, because my FT must have reduced in the last couple of weeks. So in the next video you'll see, I will kick that off with an FTP test, the starting point, and then we'll get cracking straight onto those training plans, which weirdly I'm quite looking forward to actually. It's not something, I guess what's happened is knowing I've got that ride coming up has given me the motivation to do the training plan, because it's not something I'm normally that excited about doing a training plan. I'd rather just get on a ride with you guys or do a race with you guys. So that is the plan, sorting the diet out, which I will talk about more on these vlogs. I keep saying I will, but I need to talk about it more, about what I'm eating and how I'm feeling, and weight check-ins and all of that sort of stuff. So I know I need to do it, so keep me on it. Make sure I do it. Keep commenting below and making sure that I'm checking in and doing what I should be doing to achieve this goal that I need to get to. Hopefully that is the big reset that I need. I feel a lot mentally stronger after having that bit of wobble sort of last week, and I feel a bit stronger on the bike. So going forward with good motivation and a good mindset, I'm happy with that. This week's rides, we have our Tuesday night unbanded ride for an hour. Then our race this week will just be a standard race that we do. Unfortunately, there seems to have been, since the clocks have changed here in the UK, it's moved the ZHQ anti-sandbagging race to 5:30, which I think is, well, it's too early for me because I'm working, and it's probably going to be too early for a lot of you guys. So the idea behind that was to get Zwift organised racing so we can race against non T2.5 riders in our races and challenge ourselves against those guys. So I'm open to ideas about which one we change to in the future. There might be a non-ZHQ one we can look at doing, or something to think about. But for this week, we'll run just a normal standard ride for us, and then Saturday will be our banded group ride on Saturday morning. So those are our 3 rides this week. If you want to join those, look in the description below. You'll find the links to either sign up on Spond or the Google Forms, and sign up there. So if you have enjoyed this week's video, do hit like, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.